Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name is Tom Novak, and we're going to do an easy plant today. We're going to do a Ponytail Palm. Right now, today is August 11th of 2021. It's 83 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees centigrade. Yesterday we had some real fierce rain, and this morning we had rain, so it's been raining for the last couple of days. But Ponytail Palm is real easy to grow. As you can see, this one, I got this at the store. It was only like $9.99 or something like that. Usually they're like 15, 16 bucks. But if you keep it outside, put it in full sun in the house, give it the brightest light you can. Today we're going to use a freeze draining soil. We're going to use 1 part worm castings, 1 part peat moss, 3 parts coarse sand or torpedo sand, a half tablespoon each of beneficial bacteria of Micus and Azus. And that's all mixed into the soil. Now here's the sand I'm using. I don't want you to use beach sand because beach sand is too fine. If you use a coarse sand like this, I didn't get the torpedo sand, but this is the next best thing. It's got a lot of rock and stuff on the inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a nice coarse sand. That's what you need when you mix a fast free draining soil for bonsai, for succulents and stuff, and any plant that needs it. Now this is an old fountain pot that had a fountain that didn't work, so all I did was drill some holes in it. It's rugged. It's like it feels like a cement pot. It's heavy, but what are you going to do? It's old looking, it's cruddy looking, but hey, it's got a nice flavor, I think, nice appeal. So these don't like to be soaking wet, so right now let's take it out of the pot with all the rain, and let's see what kind of root structure we got on it. Put the pot on the side. We'll take our chopstick. We want to get most of the soil off because we don't want this bulb too far into the ground, because we don't want it to cause rot. And if it gets squishy on you, which this isn't, if it gets squishy, that means there's too much water. And if the leaves start to brown, then you're not giving it enough water. So it's got a nice flat radial root base. There's no downward growing roots. It's a nice flat one, and this pot should suit it good because it's heavy enough, and when I put it outside it should drain right. But you can see the nice root structure it has. Beautiful little tree. All I'm going to do is take my chopstick and just tease the soil out of the side here. Get all this. See, they got this in it doesn't look like a fast draining soil, but I want it to drain fast. That's why I'm using the sand. There we go. Let's take our pot. A little dirty, but you can see how nice the pot looks. I mean, it's an old looking pot, and that's what you need for a plant that looks like almost like a prehistoric plant. So let's put our pot there, and here's how my soil looks from when I mixed it. Let me get some in my hand. There we go. See, it's got all the rock in there and the sand and everything. That's what you need for something like this. So right now, I'm going to get my bigger scoop, put it in, take the bottom of it, smooth it out. Well, smooth it out with your hands. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. That's what bonsai is for. You're in one with nature. There we go. Now let's see how our plant will sit in there. I want to fluff the roots out so it's got, there we go, comb them out a little bit with your fingers. Either side. Let me comb some of this out because I don't like all that peat soil on there, because it'll tend to rot. So let's turn it around. Let's move our roots out the best we can. Let them sit on your fingers so we can get into the soil there. And I think we'll just mound it up pretty good. And then drop it in. Now one thing, if the sago palm, they'll quit growing if they're root bound. So if yours stops growing, then you know it's pot bound. But once you give it enough room for the roots to grow, she'll take off again. Now this is a nice sandy mix for it. Now you notice we're not burying the bulb too much. We're just going at a little bit into the base level, just a hair above, because what I want to do is to let this grow and have it so the water runs out. And when you have it up a little bit higher like this, it'll keep the soil from going on top and rotting most of the bulb, because you can see how wet it is from here down. You can see the wet, so you don't want that. But with all that rain we had the last couple of days, and the storm was fierce, it was like the lightning in the sky was like an old Frankenstein movie. I was waiting for Boris Karloff to come out. But there we go. And I like this pot too because it's a nice steady heavy pot, and that's what you want. Now I worked this into the roots pretty good. There we go. Now I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna put it outside and let it get full sun. If it rains tonight, fine. But I'm not going to give it any watering until the morning when I can get it into the sunlight. So it'll help it dry it out. Because right now the roots were so wet, I don't want to take a chance. I want it to dry a little bit tonight. But I'll keep it outside though. It's a little muggy out, but what are you going to do? There we go. Put some soil. Don't be afraid to push in. See, I'm pushing in with my fingers to get all that soil into the roots. And an old wooden turntable is pretty good. I put a little WD on it and it spins like a top. Nice. There we go. It's a little bit, needs a little bit more soil on the back there, so let's do that. There we go. 1, 2, 3. You got yourself an easy bonsai tree. Something easy for you to do, especially if you're in an apartment. Give it the most light you can. Even house light is good. That's all you do, is just like that. Let's see if I got something to put on there, some rocks or something. I think I got a couple of pieces of flagstone to keep the... There we go. Just something to decorate it a little bit. It doesn't have to be fancy, but just to keep everything down, the soil. What else can we put on here? I think like that is good. We don't want it to become too gaudy. I don't have another piece of flagstone, but I think that'll be all right, just like that, just for the time being. And then what I'm going to do is to help keep the trunk dry, I'm going to get some of my sand and just put it down around there. And you can see all the rock in here. Now when these things grow, if you buy them in a bonsai pot, these little plants, they'll go for 20 bucks easy, 15, 20 bucks. But then again, they mass produce them, so. But still, if you can find a deal like I did on this one for, like, I think it was $9.99. I forgot where I got it. I think it was at Lowe's. But you got to look in the sections. Sometimes they have a little bit of a sale going. But that's all you got to do is get something easy for you to try. If you ain't got, you don't think you can do something, try a ponytail palm here. Not a sago palm, a ponytail palm, if I said that wrong before. Because I got one outside, it hasn't grown at all. It's got no fronds, so we'll check that out in the next video and to see why it's dead. What I'll do is take all the soil off of it and make some more of this soil for it. And we see what's going on with that one. But try a ponytail palm. It's not hard, and if you find it's an old waterfall pot. If you see one of them, grab it. Because the base came right off on this one. There we go. Plain, simple, easy. Easy for you to do. Something to keep in the house. You got it in there pretty good. It's not going to fall out. And there's a little palm. Don't do no cutting to it or nothing because we want it to get more vigor. So today's Wednesday night. And what's Wednesday night? We got some old time radio with Suspense, The Shadow, The Whistler, some real good old time mystery shows. We also got Lights Out, but I'm not going to turn the light out. So have a good day, and don't be afraid to try a ponytail palm. It's easy. And it's got a nice little trunk. And go to the stores and check all the sales, because you can get something nice like this. Something nice for you to sit down. I mean, the pot's heavy because I got it outside. I don't want nothing to blow out on this thing. But it looks pretty good. So turn on your old time radio shows with Suspense, Lights Out, The Whistler, The Shadow Knows. Make yourself a nice hot cup of pot of tea and have a cup of tea. Listen to the old shows. Sit back, relax. I know it's a muggy night, but sometimes a nice cup of tea works out. So you take care, everybody, and don't forget to try an easy plant to bonsai. It looks good. It looks almost like a prehistoric plant. If you got grandchildren or kids, let them put a few dinosaurs around it. So you take care, everybody, and thank you for coming to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors.